Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Love and Light TV, and I have a very familiar face with me.
Hello, everybody.
Let me introduce to some and present to others my friend, my boss lady, because you're definitely my boss now, and my sister.
Absolutely.
We are so happy to have Miss Tyear Wilson McCrary.
I'm happy to be here too.
Wow. Listen, I'm super excited about us doing this. One, because I've always wanted to do this with you. That's one.
Okay. Okay.
And two, because we're getting ready to talk about something that I'm very excited about, and about a woman that I'm very excited about.
Me too.
And it's amazing how someone you never met knows your story, knows your heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And today we're going to be discussing and pretty much reviewing the series called Unorthodox Life. And this series is on Netflix. And it just recently came out.
Yes.
And I discovered it by accident.
I'm so glad you did, because it was a life changer for me. It wasn't just a game changer. It was a life changer. I have cried. I have laughed. I have cheered. I have gone through every gamut of emotion. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Miss Julia Haart, because we know you're going to see this, we want you to know from the bottom of our hearts, God used you.
He did. He did.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when you told me to watch it.
Yes.
And you said, this is you.
Yes.
And I'm like,
yes.
who has this kind of complicationship?
Yes.
And when I got off the phone, for the first time, being somebody who's never, ever lost for words, I was stuttering.
Yes.
All I could do was like, this is me.
Yeah.
This is life-changing. This has impacted me so much. And as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, as a woman who's been in business for over 30 years, and as a retired bishop and retired pastor, it gave me the lift and the push and the response that I needed inwardly, that not only can it be done, but this is what it looks like on the other side of it being done without fear and trepidation.
And apology.
No apology necessary.
I mean, and that's, I think, and I'm going to tell you how I found it. My fiance was just going through Netflix, and he was like, I wonder what this is about. And I was just like, I don't know what it's going to be. Like, what could it possibly be? Because all they had on there was unorthodox. And when I see anything related to church like immediately, it's like, I don't want to hear nothing about church.
Goodbye.
But I'm so glad that we got up. And you know how Netflix will then start to play a preview.
Right.
And immediately I was like, and it just blew me away to hear someone have a similar journey in a completely different arena.
Oh my God. It's like the other side of the world. It was like, that's my sister from another mister.
Yes.
It was the craziest thing, because, you know, a lot of times, specifically in the African American church, women have a kind of a lower role. Let's
just be honest. In the traditional Christian church, women are devalued.
Absolutely.
Period.
So we can watch the children. We can do praise and worship.
Right.
We can cook chicken.
Right. Oh, God, I missed that, though.
No. The hospitality committee.
Right.
You know, we can make sure that the first lady looks good.
Yes.
But I was the first lady.
Right.
And I was the founder.
Yes.
And I was the pastor.
Yes.
But I'm still a woman, and I'm still looked like that.
Yeah.
And I was expected to fit a certain category. I mean, a certain mindset, a certain experience that people just had to have.
Right.
And you go by what the people before you have done, but sometimes it is a closeted prison.
That I think Miss Julia really illustrated.
She kicked the doors off of the baby. She was like, damn.
But we want to say this. The show is basically, and I want to kind of give a little backdrop because a lot of people may have not watched it, especially people in the African American community who may have not watched it. It's about a woman who was committed to her family, committed to her husband, committed to her faith, who basically lived a life that, to me, what I received, she just never felt like that was the life she was supposed to have.
Yeah. She lived the life that she was assigned.
Yes.
But not the life that she was supposed to purposefully, exist in.
Right. And I don't want to like get emotional on any of this because I'm so excited about it. But I know what that feels like to be told who you have to be.
Yeah.
And have that expectation put on your head. And then when you don't fulfill the expectation, then you're Satan.
Right. or his mother.
Right. Right.
So, yeah.
And so this woman, she lived in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a community, and I don't want to give too much because I want you all to go out and watch this show, especially for all of our church family, church people, folks who've been in ministry for years. And religious people.
Even spiritual people.
Yes. We want you to go out and watch this because it's going to set religious people free.
Oh, wait a minute. And we cannot forget about our Muslim friends.
Yes.
Muslim families.
Yes.
You will be so surprised.
Yes.
How this will liberate, at least open up the door.
Yes.
To give you an idea, if you are in this space, how to approach a conversation.
Exactly.
And laugh. Please don't think it's all serious.
No, it's not.
Definitely not. It's entertaining.
But that's what I loved about how she put the show together because she showed that she basically left a very Orthodox life in a very prominent Jewish community.
Yeah.
And she left. And she gave up everything.
That in itself, that was strength that I couldn't even see.
I remember when after you watched it and you text me, I could just tell that something in you lifted.
Absolutely. For the first time in probably 20 years, I felt like I'm not by myself.
Wow.
I'm not. Y'all not gonna make me sit here and cry because I like my good allergies.
They look good too.
Amazing. Okay? But what it did was it reminded me that you're not by yourself.
Right.
And when you were at me and Miss Julia a little bit different because she was with her family. And she was not the spiritual leader of the family. Right. Whereas my situation, I was still following the patterns that were expected instead of the path that was given.
That's right.
And I know when I first saw that first episode, can we just talk about the fashion?
Yes, let's talk about the fashion.
Can we talk about the fashion?
Because this show gives you the best fashion.
Listen, I did what I could with what I had available today, so we got a little bit of feathery things going on. But Miss Julia served us tea, baby. Yes, she not only served us tea, she served us a good old soul food. And when I tell you it was good for my soul,
yes,
it was good for my soul. Them shoes, wait a minute.
Yes.
She came up with listen, let me tell y'all, you all have to understand that she gives you a quick lesson about fashion and how it was created by men for women. Right. But sweetheart, when I tell you, Miss Lady came in and she changed the entire game.
Yes, she did.
She did, and she gave us
and it was so powerful.
Yeah, and they're fly and they're cute. And then she went into an industry that has been moved and controlled with a specific narrative that has become normal. Right. And she shook it up, and we can't tell you everything. Right, because we need you all to go watch this. You gotta see it. You gotta watch this show. But if you've ever been into fashion, if you've ever wanted to feel like I'm not by myself, or to see yourself in the personage of someone else, and I know for me, I am very, very, caramely. Yes. And she is very, very fair. Right. So we're from two totally different spaces. She's actually from Russia. That is where she was born. She was not born here. She was actually from Russia. So Julia's from Russia. Yeah. And I'm from East Cleveland. And y'all have so much in common. Different parts of the world. From the same place. When I watched it, the whole entire time, I kept saying, "This lady reminds me of Tyear. This lady reminds me of Tyear." And I kept saying, strong, "She me." Very strong, very opinionated. Yes. Really good with leadership. But very soft. And very feminine. And very family oriented. Oh my God, this woman loves her family. She does.
And you know what I love about this? And if you read the previews, you already know that she's been through a divorce, right?
Yeah.
And what I love was that even though she went through a divorce, and being in a religious community almost killed her. And y'all have to watch this show.
It literally almost killed her.
I thought it was powerful how she still included her ex-husband and the good thing that happened in his life.
Yeah.
Even
that was
after
so,
her.
you know, we can't tell you what it is because you gotta watch it.
You gotta watch the show.
But the ending is not a whack ending.
No,
it is an ending that says, what's next?
Yes.
But in the middle of her finding herself and establishing who she is, two very significant things happen.
Yes.
One of the things is she created a new name.
Yeah. Yes.
And I know for me, sometimes it's not about changing the identity, but it's about changing how you're presented to the world.
Wow.
And I know for me,
yes,
with all of my accolades and
yes,
titles and all that other stuff,
yes,
nothing matters until you can really self-identify with who you have become,
exactly,
not who you were. And she nailed it.
Yes.
And then the other thing was how she so openly embraced the things that everyone in her community had said was wrong. Whether it was dating,
or
it was
homosexuality, because her assistant is gay, or
sexual exploitation, not exploitation,
human sexuality,
human sexuality. To have a golden vibrator.
Yes.
Ma'am. Okay?
But
to have a golden vibrator that goes off at the airport.
Right, and she wanted her sons to date, because in their religion, they're not allowed to talk to girls, they're not allowed to see girls. And you know what, Miss Julia, what I thought was amazing? We grew up in a very staunch Pentecostalism.
Yes.
Which we discovered because of your show that it's not that much difference than the Orthodox Jews that community that you were a part of.
Exactly. Even down to how the women have to dress.
Yes,
you had
no
to have what was called slips.
Yes.
And I remember the first time I wore red fingernail polish, they sent me all the way through Armageddon and then dropped me off in hell.
Right.
Leon's number 5 was the number, okay? I remembered it.
Wow.
Okay?
But it's just so amazing to see you, because sometimes when you're isolated, right? Mm-hmm. In church, especially Pentecostalism, has a way of isolating you.
Yeah.
Making you think everybody else in the world is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We're the only ones who are right. Mm-hmm. And how in the world can we win them if we ever become like them?
Right.
You know what I mean? But what I love was that she was willing to risk
it all. Thank you. Miss Haart, can I just talk to you for a second? I need to say thank you for all of the brown girls who come from my experience, who their only thing they want to be is the pastor's wife.
That's it.
They want to be the lead praise and worship. They want everybody to know them, and they make the best biscuits.
Right.
And I want you to know that those of us who are watching, and Michael, we just listened to a testimony of a young lady who is African American and Native American.
Yeah. And
she said she had me at hello.
Yes.
And that was just the impact that you have made, because we see that not only can we do this, we can do this without apology.
Right.
We can do it and have fun.
Yes.
We can embrace our history.
Yes.
And we can embrace our future. And let me tell you something else that Miss Julia did. When she took her family and exposed them to a kingdom.
Oh my God.
That y'all have not seen.
That was beautiful.
A castle.
That was beautiful.
That was amazing. Exposing your children without them having to explain to other kids why they have a different viewpoint.
Exactly.
I'm trying not to give it away.
Right.
Was amazing. And
I agree.
The gentleness of the youngest sister.
Yes, Miriam.
Yes, Miriam, trying to talk to her little brother about dating and about liking a girl and that kind of stuff, and how Miss Julia talked to her husband and said, "Can you please co-parent with me on this, so we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, just to show that even we may be divided in our thought processes,
Right.
there are always places that we can all unify,
Right.
and we can support each other. And
Right.
that was just like so important, because in any real life, you're going to have family members that just don't get it.
And you can't force them.
No.
All you can do is be successful, which brings me to this point, and it's in my notes that I wanted to say this. My favorite scene was when she finally had to go back to her former community.
Which time? Because she went twice.
This is when she went to the grocery store.
Oh, okay.
And she had on that beautiful outfit.
Yes.
And everybody was just looking at her. She didn't have to make them believe anything. Mm-mm. She didn't have to push what she believes down their throat. Mm-hmm. She just simply exists. She
had the most amazing outfit.
Right.
But the thing, it screamed louder than her beautiful outfit. She wore courage.
Yes, she did.
In such a way where she just didn't give two damns.
Yes.
And that is powerful.
Yes. Yes.
That's powerful.
And when she went back, because you all have a Bentley that is similar. Because when I first seen her Bentley,
she's got a Rolls Royce.
Oh, yeah, Rolls Royce. I'm sorry.
Got a Rolls Royce. I
said, I think Tyear got a car like that.
Yeah, hers is black and red, and mine is silver.
Silver, yeah. And I was it was just so many parallel things. Another thing that I want to point out.
I'm trying to get to the closet.
No, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. We're not paralleling that closet. It's the It's the closet for me.
Right.
It's the closet for me.
She is doing an amazing job. One of the things, and it wasn't in my notes, but you made me remember this, was when a model couldn't show up. And any other boss,
man,
especially if this is the star of the show, any other boss would have lost it, would have been upset. And when the model called her, the model was in tears, and she was like, they arrested me. I had a little bit of weed on me. Well, you all know, honey, because I love the weed, honey. That's God. That's God. What I love.
I make every herb-bearing seed, and he said it was good. Okay.
And that weed is good, that THC. But listen, what I love was her compassion.
Yes.
She said, sweetheart, if I could come down there right now and get you, I would. But she had a show that night, and she couldn't. But it was so great to just see her compassion.
Even when the model got sick.
Yes.
And they did everything and sent everybody to make sure that this girl is good. The level of compassion and empathy and love and commitment to women. Showing up their best. And when you can't, not making them feel as though you're no longer valuable was essential in this show. When I tell y'all, if you all don't watch this
show is everything.
Listen, you need to take some notes. Whether you can hear God audibly, whether you cannot, there's something that's going to be on the inside of your supernatural sha-na-na.
Right.
It's going to wake up and it's going to make you say, you know what? I caught that. I caught that lesson. I caught that principle.
Right. And what I love is she did not throw out every part of her faith.
No.
There's still much that she definitely preserves and that she holds tight to, which speaks to me that it's important to always have your own journey.
Absolutely.
Because what may work for you may not work for me, and what may work for another person. And a lot of times in Christendom, especially in Pentecostalism, we'll have one person who will be on a path, and that path will be perfect for them. They'll get a platform and say, now everybody has to follow this path.
It's the Jim Jones model. You're drinking the Kool-Aid.
That is so funny. I mean, when I think about how I think that's one of the things that makes religion different from spirituality, is the fact that religion tells you what to think.
Right.
They'll say, oh, it happened for mother whoever, or father whoever, or
for me.
Or yes. So you should do it like that. But spirituality says, go out, see the world, experience all you can experience, and then from there you will discover what your particular journey is.
Right.
And it kind of removes or relieves the control that sometimes religion can have on our lives. And I think Miss Julia, she showed that she is a powerful believer by the love she shows to people.
You know, one of the things that was so refreshing was the dinner scene.
Yeah.
And the toast. And the family moment, the embracing of what should have been something that was so awkward.
Right.
And she made it so that everybody felt I'm a part.
Right, yeah.
The other thing is that the kids, she was mindful of each one of their unique approaches, viewpoints, how they may feel internally, what was spoken, what was unspoken.
Right.
And she navigated with such skill with her ex-husband.
Oh my
how
gosh.
to embrace the next chapters and at least welcome
the
conversation for the next chapters. And that's when, like, you gotta watch it. You gotta not only watch it, but you gotta catch up. Yes. I know me. I didn't even work for a day. I don't even know how my assistant was able to get everything done. Fortunately, I've got some great assistants.
True.
But when I tell you, I was like, I could not move. I felt like if I moved, I would miss a moment of my own life's lessons.
Right.
Even though I could have put it on pause.
Right.
I literally stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning.
You did.
And I woke up at 8 o'clock and I started all over again. And then what was crazy was when I got to the last episode of the first season, I was like, that it?
I know. I wanted
Am I
more.
supposed to live my life now?
Exactly.
You know, and so for somebody that you're leading, Miss Julia, that is so impacted, you might think, I did the show and I just want to touch as many people as I can. You don't recognize, you may have been thinking you're touching individuals, but when you got people like me, I touch tens of thousands of people.
Right.
And when you touch me, you reach a whole bunch of people.
Right. I don't know if I should mention this, but I'm going to mention it anyway. What most people don't know is that you're actually working on a reality show now.
I am.
And you were actually at a crossroads with the show. And we were trying to figure out, because she let me be one of the executive producers. And I was thinking how this show came along, Miss Julia's show. Mm-hmm. And it gave to me what we needed to say, let's get it.
It was a TV mentor.
Yeah, totally.
It was a TV mentor.
Totally.
It definitely was. It put some bottom to it. It made some things that were a little bit unsure very, very stabilized.
Right.
And for that, I am so grateful.
Because the part that I think resonated the most with me was the fact in most reality shows, it's full of unnecessary, immature drama.
Yeah.
Miss Julia and her family, they had drama, but it was real life drama.
Yeah.
It was stuff that love had to work through.
Yeah.
And because
time.
Because there was a part where Miriam, her daughter, who is, the more free spirit of all the children to me.
Y'all gonna love Miriam.
You will love Miriam.
You're gonna love her.
Miriam, right here, okay? Right here. And it was just amazing just to see how that whole journey, although it was tough for her to have a conversation with her dad, baby.
I was like this.
I was wondering what her father was actually going to say.
Because I'm thinking, please, because it kept showing the door.
Yes.
Like, please, just come
out. That's what I was saying.
Come outside and talk to her. I know those cameras are there.
Right.
But just still, don't forsake being a father.
Right.
And he showed up for her.
And came out, and his energy, his spirit.
It was so sweet.
And you would look at them and say, oh my God, Miss Julia is like amazing. Her ex-husband is so kind of sweet. And you would think,
your new husband is amazing too.
Oh my God.
The accent is everything.
And he loves her.
He does.
Like for who she is.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't even know where this is gonna go when I say this. But what I loved was that even though she's an amazing individual, her ex-husband is an amazing individual, they realized that they were not amazing together.
Yeah.
Because what
Don't you make my eyelashes come off, because Miss Julia, we'll have to have this conversation privately.
Right.
When I tell you, ma'am.
When we come to New York, Miss Julia, and we have lunch or dinner with you, because we're believing that that's going to happen, you'll understand.
Wow.
Like, they weren't amazing together. And the crazy part about all of that was, it's okay.
It's, that, in that area, that helped me too.
Yeah.
Because for me, it was, your story is not just my past.
Yes.
It is my present and my future.
Right.
And I can see that there is light on the end of every storm. All you have to do is just keep going.
Yes.
And the verbiage of the little fish, just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming, just right, Nemo.
Swimming.
And you know what I thought when I remember she had to talk to her son, who was still very much connected to the religious community because he spends half of his time with his dad, half of his time with his mom. I heard her heart. She said, all I want is for my son to have every advantage there is in life. And if he chooses to go once he's older and live in that community and that's his path, she's for it. But she also wants to expose him to other parts of life so that he will be able to make a full conscientious decision once he's old enough about what is right for him.
Right. And she's living the example in front of him so he doesn't have to read it in a book.
Right.
He sees it. He lives it. And I really believe, and I'm going to say this, I really believe that it's not necessarily that he comes around, but I think your journey is going to assist him when he comes to a emotionally mature place to say, I have these options, and not only is it my mom's option, but I'm choosing to make this option for myself. And so kudos to you. Kudos to you.
Because I think that parents, sometimes we love our children so much that we think we know their path.
Yeah.
And what she was just saying was, I'm not trying to push anything on you. I just want to present everything to you.
It's just exposure.
I thought that was awesome. Another point that I think resonated with me was her oldest daughter, who by the time Miss Julia
she
left,
serious about not being a grandmama though.
Down.
She done playing.
And because
I don't blame you, girl. You better preserve your prettiness.
Because think about this. She got married. Her daughter got married at 18, 19, and so right. So when you see that,
done it, got the T-shirt
down. So, but when you see her daughter story, because Miriam has a different point of view.
Yeah.
Her youngest son has a different point of view.
Miriam
Shlomo
has 2 points of view.
Yes, she does.
Because she has her husband to deal with.
Well, no. That's Bathsheba. Yes,
Bathsheba has 2 opinions.
Which I love that name.
I do too.
Yeah.
She has two things she's working out.
Yes.
And Miriam she's trying to explore and figure out
who she is. Yes. And where she's at in life. But the oldest daughter, I think, touched my heart.
Bathsheba.
As well. And so for me, when I saw the experience of her oldest daughter, I could relate to that. And I'm going to tell you why. Because all her life, she grew up in this Orthodox community. And that's all she knows. And to see your mom abruptly, in her eyes, abruptly.
I'm sure it was abruptly, because Miss Julia looked like, time.
Right.
Let's go.
But what I love was that even though her daughter was confused, she sat down, she talked to her daughter, and I'm not going to give everything away, but I will tell this part. She told her daughter, she said, if I would have stayed one more day, I would have committed suicide. And
that was so powerful. And then for Bathsheba to understand that and to hear it from a perspective that is not a childlike perspective, but now an adult perspective, and you put yourself in it, is kind of like, this is really bad,
right?
But even the way she talked to her, and who was there that day? The youngest daughter and the oldest son. When she talked to them about the going public, the IPO, and to see, first off, can I just, ma'am, congratulations. Okay, that is really, really big. Right. I'm a Madam CEO, but baby, you bring down the madam and say it ain't got no title other than Julia Haart. Okay?
Exactly.
So, but when she announced that, and all of them, and I understand, I could tell with discernment what was actually being presented and why. Right. I knew some stuff was for television, fillers, but I also understood that even in that moment, it was a teachable moment. Even when Bathsheba lost that contract because
Yes.
she told her to stretch.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that you need in your life
Yeah.
that will make you put yourself in a position where you lose it all.
That's right.
But they're also the same people who come bearing the gift to give you all and more.
Exactly.
And my motto is, and it's something that God taught me, you don't go for either or. You settle for some or more. And she showed her daughter that some or more has to be the basic requirement.
Yeah.
And she gave them all a place, and she handled that teaching moment as well as the teaching moment when the wrong message got out.
Right.
She pulled everybody together, and it was wonderful, and everybody got a chance to celebrate their unique greatnesses and what they bring to the family dynamic and the company, and it makes the company better. Listen, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a woman, if you are in business, if you are in ministry, if you have been in church, if you are Muslim, if you are Jehovah's Witness,
whatever,
if you are Jewish, if you're uncertain, you need to watch this show. It is not about religion. That has maybe 5% to do with it. It is about the journey of the human spirit.
Ooh, yes.
And if you could just catch the message, so many principles that will carry you and will spare you, and inform you, and most powerfully encourage you, that there is life after trauma. There is life after decisions that you think if you don't make will kill you. That there is hope when you can't even have access to read the information that's in your own library, and you end up being able to buy any library in New York City. You know, there is to go from a sewing machine to having your company go public to create shoes that were basically created for men. Now you created the most comfortable,
let's talk about the shoe because you love shoes.
Baby, I wear a size 9. That's a size 40.
Because you love shoes. But that's what I love. Like, I just thought that was
and
so
I'm short.
amazing.
I'm 5'3", so I'm little.
Because she is the CEO of Elite World Group. That was a company that she acquired. She acquired this. And what I love was that she shows what happens when you are willing to give up everything and start over. Because many times we hold on to things for sometimes different reasons. Go ahead.
You know what? I'm still got pastor in me. There's this one scripture in the New Testament that says, if you give up houses, lands, mother, father, for the sake of the gospel. A lot of people think the gospel is preaching.
No.
It is the good news
news of life.
Of God and His purpose for your life in the earth. She did it. And the promise says, I'm going to give you 100-fold in this life. And in the life to come, eternal life. You can forget about the sweet by and by. That'll come when it comes. But He made good on His promise to Miss Julia.
And to see that.
And just right in front of your eyes.
To see it. And I think that's the hard thing about religion. Because sometimes religion will try to put a scale on your eyes so that you only see what you're told to see. But I am so grateful. I was sitting on the couch, and I was just sitting, I was just blessed to get my first home. I was sitting there watching this show, and I was thinking I said, God, if I can manifest this, I can manifest that.
I was just trying to manifest the closet while I was sitting there.
I mean, it's
a closet for me. When you see the show, it'll make sense. It's the ability to expose your family to things that most people can only dream of. That's what it was for me. For me, it was the conquering of every fear and saying, hell with it. If I've got to go and pursue with every fear on my back, I'm going on fire anyway.
And she did it.
And here's the thing. She took the consciousness of every single watcher that's a female and said, go with me. Just hold my hand. I got you. If we never meet, just follow my footsteps. If we never, ever have a dialogue, just know I've done this. I did it for me. But I did it with you in mind.
Yes.
And for that, Miss Julia Haart, you're not going to make my eyelashes come off now. But I'm here to tell you, I thank you and I thank Jehovah for all that you are
Yes.
and all that you're going to become.
Because she is a literal example. And I think a lot of times, we are people of faith.
Mm-hmm.
And faith will teach you how to see it when you don't see it.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for the moments of this show that allowed my faith to grow because I saw it. And I'm not weak in faith, but I saw
from another lens.
But yes, from a different lens. And I was able to relate it to every part of my life where I feel I'm struggling.
Yeah.
So listen, everybody, we're not going to prolong the time. I just want you all to know, go watch this show.
Go watch it.
It will blow your mind. It will change your life. All of my church folks who watch this channel, people who have followed me for years, please take some time and go and watch. Yeah. This will be probably one of the best investments of time in your life.
Absolutely. It's definitely, there's no waste of time here.
Yeah.
And I want to see the reruns because I know in it there were some principles that I must have lost and I missed because she speaks such a prophetic movement.
Yes.
And how she moves. Not what she says, but how she moves.
Yeah.
And her courage and her faith and her conviction. So please go see it.
Yeah.
And make sure you tell everybody
about this show.
And comment below. Let us know what you think, not only about our commentary, but tell us some of your favorite moments of the show. Tell us some things that really impact you. And if nothing else, tell us one thing that made you say, I can do this.
Yes. And Miss Julia, and to your family, we just want to say thank you.
Yeah.
Because you all did not have to share this part of your life.
No.
But God knew that there were people like Tyear and I who needed a visible example that if we trust God, everything that we desire will happen. So we appreciate you all. Make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And this won't be the only time you see us like this. We're going to do some other things as well.
Oh, they need to follow me.
Oh yes. And make sure that you follow us on all social media. Our handles are there at the bottom.
And Clubhouse, too, because I got something for you.
Now, I'm going to join your Clubhouse because I know you invited me and I haven't had a chance to do it yet. But I'm going to definitely join the Clubhouse because you go live. You go live every day?
No, I don't go live every day.
But often?
I do often.
Okay.
Often. Okay. Several times a week, I do.
Well, I can tell you this. I've known you for over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
You have been the same exact person. I've only seen you grow and develop and get better. And you have been a very powerful spiritual impact in my life. And I'm excited about working with you and looking forward to great things. So listen, everybody, we love y'all. And we'll talk to you all soon, okay?
Bye.